2 years ago, I interviewed Kanye Ye West on Uncensored after he'd made global headlines.
That's another PS. His name is Kanye Ye. No West. You need to stop using that name.
Anti-Semitic outbursts. Most outrageously, he tweeted that he wanted to go DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. It was a heated interview. It's a long interview. I held him to account. I told him his remarks were offensive. He caused many people a lot of pain. And he gave me some back, of course. He called me a Karen. Fair enough, I can take it. At least we had a mostly grown-up conversation. These constant tirades against Jewish people.
Have you felt my pain yet? You haven't felt my pain.
You
don't want to feel my pain.
Oh, no,
you don't hold accountability. You don't hold accountability to my pain. You're being a Karen.
Do you believe that you have any form of mental illness?
I believe that I suffered from exhaustion. I believe that I suffered from exhaustion. I suffered from being lied to constantly by the people around me, by my management, by my ex-wife.
Do you still love Kim?
I absolutely love. I'll love her for life.
That interview lasted 2 hours. In the end, we covered a lot of ground. There were moments of tension and moments, I think, of mutual understanding. Yeah, he got up and walked off at one point, but he had to think about what he wanted to say, and then he came back and he said it.
And we'll have the top lawyers like a Johnny Cochran, Robert Kardashian level legal team, you know, looking at all of these contracts together. After that moment happens, then I will say, I'm sorry.
Okay, if that's your position.
Interview adjourned. Love you.
Yeah, thanks for sitting back down. I'll change the subject now. Obviously, I have no idea what's going on in this guy's head, and he's unquestionably a genius artist with a global fan base and massive talent. He's lived most of his life under the microscope of intense fame, and that pressure alone can make people behave very oddly. Back then, I was trying to understand if Ye had any regret or remorse for what could have been a relatively isolated incident or some kind of episode. I wanted to know if he understood there are consequences for his words, and whether he was genuinely a racist. Well, we now know just the tip of the iceberg. As far as the watching public is concerned, Ye has spiraled in both his personal life and his business life. Most recently, he's taken to posting endless, outrageous anti-Semitic slurs on X. He frequently professes his great love for Adolf Hitler. He poses in swastikas and KKK costumes. He says things like Jews were better as slaves and they should be whipped. We all know this because X has allowed him to carry on doing it to his 33 million followers. I've argued for a long time. His account should be shut down. It should be stopped. That's my opinion. I believe passionately in free speech and I detest censorship because I believe in the importance of sharing honestly held opinions in a democracy. But posting endless, vile, anti-Semitic insults, encouraging violence against Jewish people in these unhinged tirades on a privately owned platform has got nothing to do with free speech. I invited him back onto Uncensored because at least on my show, I can call him out for what he's been doing and put myself in between the 32, 33 million followers who see his posts without any challenge whatsoever. Our producer spotted that he was in Spain with his friend Sneeko, and we invited both of them on for an interview. They very quickly agreed, and Sneeko spent several days talking about it, but they mucked us around, a significant expense, both in time and money, to me, my crew in Spain, and my team here in London. More importantly, he didn't turn up yesterday, and said wanted to do it today. So it seemed to me then it might all just be a stunt. But I went ahead and said, okay, we'll have another go today. Ye told Sneeko not to be offended if he stormed off very shortly before today's interview started. You can judge for yourself how it went and whether Ye has any respect or, frankly, any marbles. I'm not a shrink. But if you're so delusional or fragile you don't expect a journalist to ask you questions about your publicly stated love of Hitler, you should probably talk to somebody other than me. What followed, frankly, was a farce.
I'm getting you multi-tracks right now. about to step in this interview, but I can hop back on in about whenever it's done. That nuance right there, it's idiotic. It just shows the hate that you put out for people that put love. There's so much love in the art that I put out.
What do you respect?
So many,
what are you talking about?
We have to admit this is somewhat entertaining. You know, this is going to be laughed at by many people.
What's entertaining?
That was funny.
Ye West is rarely out of the headlines at the moment. It's fair to say the headlines.
Why you keep referring to him, West? You know this is a public information. It's either you're ignorant or you're arrogant to keep addressing the guy the wrong name. What's wrong with this Piers Morgan? You already like disrespecting your guests. It's like you already trying to get underneath his skin. We are looking forward to some really good interview to know what's going on with him mentally, you know, especially, you know.
Equally rarely positive. The rapper, producer, and fashion designer is currently working on a new album. Several new tracks were previewed on a recent live stream with his friend Sneeko, and both Sneeko and Ye join me now. Well, welcome to Uncensored. Ye, we haven't spoken for a while. How are you?
I'm doing good. I don't use the term West, you know, the whole drop the slave name idea.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like, why he keep addressing him with the name West when he came publicly, legally change his name to Ye?
Okay, so we just call you Ye, yeah?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, look, when I last interviewed, we had a long conversation, and since then, a lot has happened in your life. And so I'm grateful for the opportunity to try and talk to you about some of this. How would you say your life is at the moment?
I mean, you see that view?
Yeah. Your life is good?
Well, judge it on the view as the answer to how my life is. Judge me by the view.
Well, the view is Mallorca. I've been there. It's a beautiful place. And for all intents and purposes, you seem very relaxed and happy. That is in direct contrast to your public image at the moment over the last couple of years, led by your ferocious... Well, hang on, let me finish the question. Led by your ferocious use of...
No, but I already disagree. It's not in contrast. There's so many people and artists that are championing the idea of someone being able to just express who they really are and have been able to go through the war of being attacked by the banks, being attacked, you know, by the banks. That's the best way to put it. Being attacked by the banks and to still be here with this view is, you know, that's the win. So I think I'm in contrast to your contrast.
Okay, but the point I was going to make is that I watched what you put out on X. You've got 32 million followers, so you're one of the most followed people.
See, wait. Now look right now. You're not gonna take inches off my dick, bro. Like, how many followers do I have?
Well, how many is it?
I think you could do the study. You got a whole staff over there.
I thought it was 32 million. How many is it? You obviously know.
I mean, don't help them out. You know,
I'm told it's 33 million now. So congratulations.
Crazy thing is, Piers, you just said in your introduction he's 33 million followers. So you know he has 33 million followers. Why are you doing that?
Slightly bigger following than I thought.
No, congratulations. Your information is correct. You're not just some, you know, dude trying to sub. You know, I'm a gift, bro. You know what I mean? Why do all you people?
You see how he changed his energy now because of he now know that Piers is trying to downplay him or not addressing him with his illegal name, which is Ye, and not correctly calling out his statistics. Like that's why he say he's great. He's starting now. He's Anyway,
The media act like you haven't played my songs at your weddings or graduations or at funerals or when your child was born. You know, you take somebody that's living like a Lennon, a Michael Jackson, and you just take all this time to just like that nuance right there. It's idiotic. It just shows the hate that you put out for people that put love. There's so much love in the art that I
with
put
all
out.
due
There's
respect,
so many,
what are you talking about? I haven't said anything.
What are you talking about? It's 30. Okay, now you're not taking accountability or responsibility.
I've literally, you said it, you implied I haven't played your music. Of course I played your music.
Anita? No, sir. This is what you get for now. We can circle back when you can count.
Okay.
you see, we're having another walkout again, just like that from Kanye West, you know. But this one definitely, I'm gonna blame PS. Address the guy. He's a grown-up man, a father, a husband, legally named. His name is Ye. Call him Ye. He has 33 million. He has 33 million. So it's nothing. You are the host. You know what I'm saying? That's your guest. So you respect him equally as you respect anybody. Regardless your opinion of the person. You have a different opinion of the person. Don't have him on the stage on your show then. You know? Now we can have a proper interview, you know?
Where's he gone, Sneaker?
That's it for Ye.
You already know this. You had this before. I walk out on your interview with him and you repeating the same pattern by downplaying him.
But it's nice to meet you, Piers.
Where's he gone?
I think he's going back to work. There's several things he's working on. I was not aware he was going to leave like this, but it seems like he got upset about the...
So it's all just a game, is it? Is that the idea?
I mean, life is a video game, is it?
No, I just wonder what the point of this exercise
This guy is life is a video game.
was. He supposed to do an interview or not?
Are you supposed to do an interview? But I mean, the amount of Twitter followers, something like that, that's patronizing.
Yep. You cannot say was he supposed to do an interview. When you're the interviewer, you don't have your facts right. Or you have your facts right, but you're downplaying the person you're interviewing and expect him to sit there and give you an interview. You need the content. It's not the other way around. You need to interview him. You want to interview him. So respect him. Regardless, you don't like the person. Once you take the PS, you know this already, man.
For no reason. You said his name incorrectly. You know his name is Ye. This is very public.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, you know his name is Ye. Why are you calling him incorrect name? Like he's a small boy. And you will say you are PS Morgan uncensored.
Hopefully we could do it. I think this was good. We were prepared for a good interview. But come on, you know what you were doing.
What do you think I'm doing?
I think you were...
Guys, tell me what you guys think. Whether Ye was rightfully to walk out or PS Morgan also know what he's doing. Whether it's this for he's looking for a viral Kanye moment or he's just, I don't know, because this was not necessary. This is another interview you have with the same guy. It's not the first time. And you cannot address the guy's legal name. You cannot even say the correct statistics of the guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know the guy. You know he's legally changed his name. Why you keep calling him the name he's no more answering or answering to?
We're trying to patronize very intentionally by getting those two things, you know, under his skin. Maybe it could have been about past interviews or because of what happened yesterday. But I mean, this information is not that difficult to get right.
Yeah, that's why I say it's either arrogance or ignorance. But it cannot be ignorance because PS, you're not that dolly. You're PS Morgan. You're well informed. You know what I'm saying? And he sat with you before and tell you this.
Yeah, we called him Ye, and we got his Twitter following count wrong by 1 million, from 32 to 33 million. Also, for the record, you guys dicked us around yesterday, and you seem to find that very entertaining and amusing in your live stream, which I'm sure you will now. You kept all my crew in Spain and here waiting, and then waiting.
Yes, you're gonna be a bitter like producer. This is your show. You wanted the guy to be on your show. You have him now on your show, and you saw in some bitterness. Nah, PS.
Their time, and then you got us all back now, and you've wasted our time again. And you again may find that funny and entertaining, and that's fine. I don't. I think it's a total waste of everyone's time and effort and money.
Well, I mean, it is.
That's fair. That's fair enough to say, but you now have the interview now. You could have addressed that, or even cancel the interview, or don't even do the interview. But now, you now have the interview now. The interview, you went through some A, B, and C, as you put in it. To what? To flop it? Just for ratings? Without getting the actual full interview? Full conversation with the person you wanted to interview? Come on, Pierce.
I was ready for the interview yesterday, too. My time is important as well, regardless if it was wasted. We had to admit this is somewhat entertaining. You know, this is going to be laughed at by many people.
What's entertaining?
That was funny. That's undeniably walking off right into the beginning of an interview is funny.
Yeah? Out of interest, what do you do with him?
I'm working on several films.
So now you're gonna be interviewing this guy now, because interview was supposed to be yeah. So you're gonna say
right now I am streaming out here. I'm editing, and I work on things behind the scenes, some inspiration for art. I'm just there to try to help fulfill his vision.
Well, let me ask you the questions I would have asked him. So, I mean, out of interest, what is with his obsession with Hitler? Why is he so rampantly anti-Semitic?
These questions, yeah, PS, professionally, yeah, were supposed to be asked to Ye. You should have composed your whatever anger you have regarding how they treated you or your team prior to the interview, and compose yourself and ask these questions directly to the guy so that we can know. How can you ask him? This guy is not Ye.
I'm not going to answer questions on his behalf.
Well,
thank you. Because you're not Ye. We don't want to hear you. Respectfully, I'm sorry, but we don't want to hear him. He's not the one tweeting. He's not the one saying what those things you want to ask. And we want to know why Ye is doing these things. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, we might not agree with him, but we want to know.
You're going to have to, because he's not there. He's not there.
What's that?
And that's your fault as a host. You cannot have your guesses and just act anyhow, or showing some bitterness because they dick you around. Now you're on live recording, interviewing him, your guest, you're dicking around. For what?
He's not there. He literally is dropping a track today called Heil Hitler. Why are you happy to be associated with somebody like that, out of interest?
I'm not going to speak on his art and his vision.
I'm asking you why you are happy to be associated with somebody who most of the world believes is now a rampant anti-Semite.
Well, you're associated as well. Your show is called Piers Morgan Uncensored. You tried to get him censored on X. And here you are on the days we're going to release this song doing an interview with him. So we're all involved here. It's not like I'm the only one complicit.
Yeah, the reason I wanted to get him on was because I don't think anyone holds him to account for anything he does on X. And in fact, he deliberately breaches all of X's rules, and yet he does it with impunity and is allowed to do it, whereas millions of other accounts get suspended for far less offences. So I was going to ask him directly, which is why I mentioned his X following. I was going to ask him about what he puts on X and why he does this, why he continually...
And Pierce, who is to blame? But nobody but yourself. Respectfully, we all tune in to listen to what he has to say. But we all picked it up. Nobody's a dummy now. We all picked it up. You are calling him the wrong name, wrong statistics, and all that stuff. You know? Like, come on. And you're now wondering these questions you wanted to ask him. You can't ask him these questions anymore. Unless you reschedule another interview.
Attacks Jewish people, why he continually celebrates Adolf Hitler. And then I'm curious about, given he's not there, can't answer these questions, what your association is with this guy and whether you're comfortable to be associated with somebody who most people consider to be an anti-Semite.
I think I just answered this question. These are good questions. I think I just answered half.
We haven't answered the question, have you?
But, I mean, I did. You said, what are you doing out here? And I said, I'm doing films and I'm reporting behind the scenes and I'm streaming and I'm editing and helping fulfill his vision.
Have you been helping him with the track Heil Hitler?
No, I don't. I'm not a music guy. And if you wanted to get questions about his Twitter or X correct, then you should have got the number of followers correct. That was something intentional that you knew what you were doing.
So I got the size of his dick wrong. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. It wasn't a mistake. It was intentionally done. And for you, peers, to think that grown man like Kanye, intelligent, a very intellectual guy like Kanye, creative, you want to think you're going to downplay his intelligence. Like, he's not going to know that a grown person is making me. And he's telling you that in the first interview, he's tired of people who are lying to him, all these things. That you, as an interviewer, you're doing the same thing. And you don't think this guy's intelligence cannot pick that up? And you're sitting down there acting baffled why he walked out, why we couldn't understand what he's doing, because you couldn't be professional enough to compose yourself and ask him these questions so that we can know.
Well, if you know everything else that he's tweeting, you should have got that right as well.
Oh, don't be so pathetic, Sneaker. Honestly, what you're trying to do is you're trying to get good content which will promote you, Sneeko. And I'm just curious how you, Sneeko, deal with the fact that you are so openly associating yourself now with somebody who seems to worship Adolf Hitler and is pro the Nazis. Do you feel comfortable about that?
No, we worship God.
No, he worships Adolf Hitler.
I'm here promoting this. We could talk about how pathetic
he worships Adolf Hitler.
That you were essentially working for Israel up until a couple months ago. And
really? When was I working for Israel?
Like genocide and not pushing back.
When was I working for Israel?
If it's pathetic to make films behind the scenes of one of the greatest living artists, probably the greatest living artist.
Well, he certainly was.
You point the finger at
he certainly was a great artist. Unfortunately, he's become a rampant anti-Semite who adores Adolf Hitler, embraces Nazism, uses swastikas slogans to sell his merchandise, and has a new record out called Heil Hitler. So forgive me if I don't currently see him as one of the world's great artists.
Question is incorrect.
Yeah, but I don't see him.
Everything you're saying in this question is incorrect.
Sorry?
The song isn't out. The song isn't out for one. And two, he says he loves everyone. He says he loves Jews. He says he loves Hitler. He says he loves everybody.
Really? So when he said, let me ask you, given you're the one sitting there, he said Jews were better as slaves. You have to put your Jews in their place and make them into your slaves. He then said, make your Jews work for you, but watch them as close as you can, whip the Jews. You comfortable with that, Sneeko?
I think I find it funny. That's not something that I would do personally. I don't whip
anybody. You think it's funny, do you? Whipping Jews?
Slavery.
Using Jews as slaves? You think that's funny?
I think the context of that is funny, yeah.
What's the humor? I'm missing the humor. What's the humor?
I mean, do you want me to break down a joke for you?
You think it's a joke, do you, about whipping Jews?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a joke because I've been here for a couple weeks and he hasn't whipped any Jews.
Really? So because he hasn't actually whipped any yet,
that's a joke. He really has.
Yeah.
Really has. But Piers, before I leave, I don't want to speak on his behalf. If you're agreeing,
what choice do we have? You set this thing. You set this farce up. He's dicked us around. You're the one left, so you're going to have to be accountable for him. Unless you want to walk away too.
Accountable? What do you want to hold me accountable?
If you don't want to answer questions either, you are free to stand up and walk away like a little sniveling.
Well, you can ask questions. If you have questions for me, then I'll feel free to answer.
Here's my question for you. Why is your mate Ye?
Is this whole thing going to be interrupting, or is this whole thing just going to be interrupting? Do you want me to speak at all?
You're sounding like Andrew Tate Light, like his annoying little younger brother we never knew about. Okay? Doesn't work with me. Okay? You set this thing up. It's obviously some kind of elaborate prank.
Okay, your team asked me to do this. If you want to be Netanyahu Light on TV,
but given you want to
be Dave Portnoy with the suit, then sure. If you want to do ad hominem attacks, then why invite someone to your show? I set this up because your team asked me to do it. I did everything that I could. If I knew that this would, I'm not here wasting your time. You're angry at me for setting up an interview that you wanted. If you have questions for me, I'm happy to answer those. If you want,
interview you wanted. You see, like Piers, you wanted to do this interview. You are the content creator. You are the one looking for content to interview guests. Yeah? And you wanted to do the Kanye interview. You see, you are not being professional. Like whatever conspired outside before you get the interview, yeah, that should have been there. Once the interview was set up, you should be respecting your guests. You don't want to have year on, don't have year on. But when you have him on, respect him equally like you will respect everybody else. And make the interview, make the good content so that your viewers can get the proper like content and context of what's going on. Because right now we have no context of anything right now with this interview. It's another Kanye West walkout. Sorry, Mr. Ye. You know what I'm saying? Because we shouldn't be calling you that last name because you don't want to be called that name.